Hi everybody and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video I've got a story from Entitled Parents with an update and one story from Today I Effed Up. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I'd like to thank all of you that support me either as YouTube members or Twitch subscribers or even donating during the live streams. Thank you so much for your support. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Entitled Parents and it's from user Painsomnia. Karen expects total stranger to babysit her child even after being told no. So, this is a weird one. Not my story, but a friend who messaged me right after it happened to vent, cause what the actual F? Characters today are Karen, entitled mother, SK, sweet kid, and F, my friend. So, Karen moved into the apartment next to my friend's a couple of weeks ago. Karen has struck up short, polite conversations with my friend just 2 times in that period, with the second being yesterday, the day before this whole fiasco unfolded. This morning at about 9 AM, while my friend was having a nice Saturday breakfast, she gets up at 6 AM on weekdays, so this was a weekend lie-in for her. Someone started aggressively banging on her front door. When my friend answered, Karen was standing there with Sweet Kid, a 5-year-old girl, who had a little backpack on. Sounding very flustered, Karen says she was sorry to have to ask this with no notice, but could my friend please watch the Sweet Kid for a few hours? Because Karen had somewhere really important to be. Now, something you need to understand about my friend is that she can't stand kids and has no idea how to deal with them. Like, she tenses up and gets super awkward if a kid so much as waves at her in the supermarket. My friend is also disabled. She uses a motorized wheelchair sometimes and a walking cane for short distances or when she's just pottering around her own home. She lives with her girlfriend who is also her carer. Her chronic illness involves fainting spells and a lot of brain fog, so by her own account, she's absolutely not someone who should be left in charge of a child. Karen has seen my friend using both her wheelchair and her cane and has seen my friend's girlfriend, who was at work when all this happened, helping her in and out of the car. So my friend responded with a firm no, explaining that her medical conditions meant that the Sweet Kid would not be safe in her care and that she's not well enough at the moment to have any guests, let alone an unattended kid, in her home anyway. Karen immediately flipped from pleading and simpering to hand-on-hip indignation. At this point, accusing my friend of faking her disabilities because, of course, if she can walk at all, then she obviously doesn't actually need a wheelchair, right? And threatened to report her to Centrelink Welfare if my friend didn't watch the Sweet Kid for her. Never mind the fact that my friend isn't on welfare, lol. Her girlfriend has a high-paying job and my friend works somewhere between part-time and full-time hours from home most weeks. She's a goddamn machine and I don't know how she manages it. So my friend basically said, I'm not on Centrelink and I don't appreciate being blackmailed. Find another babysitter because I am not it. And closed her door. Karen kept banging on the door for a bit but eventually left. About 20 minutes later, my friend heard a very faint and timid tapping on her front door. She said if she hadn't been so close to it, she probably wouldn't have heard it. She sighed heavily, having kinda already guessed what was happening. She opened the door and there was Sweet Kid, who had clearly been crying, clutching the shoulder straps of her little backpack. She said very softly, "Mommy said I could stay here today." Now, like I said, my friend cannot stand kids, but even she said that Sweet Kid was an absolute darling throughout this entire fiasco and the most she ever did was cry because her mother is clearly a goddamn monster. Karen had driven off and sent Sweet Kid to my friend's door, clearly thinking that if she left my friend with no alternative, she'd just play along and babysit the Sweet Kid for her anyway. Especially since my friend had literally no way of contacting Karen. Wrong. My friend escaped abusive parents at a young age, and this crap made her furious. She just got Sweet Kid settled in front of the TV with a drink and some snacks and called the police. Yeah, my neighbor just abandoned her 5-year-old daughter outside of her apartment, and the kid showed up at my door asking to come in. When the officers arrived, my friend told them the full story, and while they were appalled, she said they weren't surprised. One said, "You'd be shocked at how not rare this kind of thing is," which is honestly kind of the worst part of all this. The officers took Sweet Kid with them and were really sweet with her, explaining to her that she wasn't in any trouble and had done the right thing, and that they were there to look after her and find out where her mommy had gone. My friend found out later that they were able to contact Sweet Kid's father, who is currently working on finalizing a divorce from Karen, and was also appalled, but not remotely surprised by what she'd done. Well, before I start ranting about this Karen, Opie, good for your friend. She stuck up for that kid even though she wasn't comfortable, and she did the right thing. She called the police on that witch. I'm guessing this is one of the reasons the husband is seeking a divorce from this person. I mean, treating your kid like a bother and just getting rid of them like that? Sending your kid to a stranger's apartment, not knowing anything or much about them after speaking to them twice, and then just leaving? So many things could have gone wrong. The kid could have been taken in the walk between the parking lot and that apartment, which we don't know where it was. The kid could have gone to the wrong apartment. Thankfully she didn't. The friend, Opie's friend, could have not been the nice person that she apparently was and would have ended up being a creep or something. But Karen doesn't care because she has somewhere to be. I hope the future ex-husband goes for full custody and wins. This woman doesn't deserve to be near her child, and I'm so sorry for that sweet kid to have such a crappy mother. And I'm gonna leave my commentary at that because at this point it's probably just going to turn into cussing Karen out. So, let's move on with the update to this story to see what happened after this. Hey guys, thank you so much for the awards and all of your interest in my friend's story. I messaged my friend asking if she had any updates, and oh boy, that was an emphatic yes, haha. This morning, she had another knock on her door, only it was the dad with Sweet Kid in tow. He went there to apologize for what his ex had done, and so he and the Sweet Kid wanted to thank my friend for looking after the Sweet Kid and for calling the police. She said he seemed like a good guy who was clearly putting his kid first in all this, which was really reassuring to hear. He told my friend that, according to his lawyer, her calling the police and handling everything the way she had would basically be a gift-wrapped custody battle win for him. Basically, what the F kind of court would ever grant Karen custody after the crap she'd pulled? His lawyer was over the moon when the dad called him. My friend also asked the dad what the F had been so important that Karen had abandoned her own daughter over it. You guys ready for this? It's so goddamn cliche. It was an appointment at a nail salon. She brought Sweet Kid several times previously and just demanded that the staff babysit her and refused to even acknowledge the kid during her me time. When she'd called yesterday morning to book a last-minute appointment, cause Karens, the staff put her foot down and told her she could no longer bring her kid to her appointments and would be refused service if she did. The dad also said that Karen had shown up so late to the appointment that they refused to see her anyway. Again, cause Karens. So she abandoned her daughter cause she wanted her me time getting her nails done. The dad told my friend that me time is an excuse Karen uses to ignore her kid. Basically, anytime she feels like it, do not talk to me during my me time, etc. The dad also asked my friend if she would be okay to help with his custody battle. He said he understood that her health isn't great and that his lawyer had said a written statement would be fine. He said while it probably wasn't essential, since they had the police report, he wanted to have as much evidence on his side as possible, just to be sure. Of course, my friend agreed. Karen hasn't yet shown up at my friend's door to scream at her, so my friend's thinking maybe dealing with the police put some actual fear of consequences into her. Lol, we shall see. And there you have it. Don't talk to me during my me time. Yeah, that's exactly what every kid deserves to hear from their parents, right? Because love, support, and encouragement are overrated. If you want decent human beings out there in the world, treat your kids like crap. And just in case there's any doubts to what I just said, I was being absolutely sarcastic. Are you effing kidding me? She left her kid there with a stranger because she wanted to get her nails done. What a total crap bag of a person. Like I said before, I hope the father gets full custody of the kid and that this mother gets at most supervised visitation only. And now I'm going to stop recording this and go take a walk outside before reading the next story. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit.
2 hours later.
This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's from user Hardalin81. Today I effed up by saving a topless woman from drowning. So this happened yesterday. My family, wife, kids, and in-laws, and I just returned from a pontoon cruise for the evening. It was later than usual, so I sent the wife up on the golf cart with the kids and in-laws to get them some dinner while I covered up the boat. About halfway through covering up the boat, I noticed someone halfway across the cove in the water, all on their own, and she appeared to maybe be in distress. She wasn't making progress swimming one way or the other and occasionally going underwater. There were people on the opposite shoreline yelling at her, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. I yell asking if she needs help and she says yes. I call my wife and tell her to come down on the cart. Someone is in the water and needs help. I'm going in. I might need help getting the person out. I put on a life jacket and grab the throw cushion from the boat. I swim out to the person and pass off the throw cushion. She appears out of breath. First thing she says to me is, "I'm topless." I respond with, okay, but are you okay? I also immediately think to myself, 1, my friends are never going to believe this. 2, what is my wife going to think with a topless woman swimming to shore with me? She then says she's running from her boyfriend who is messed up. She also asks if it's shallow enough to touch it. It wasn't going to be. I help her to the dock where my wife meets us. She tells my wife, "I'm sorry, but I don't have a shirt on." Again, my wife just asks if she's okay, and she tells us the boyfriend story again. Sure enough, as she gets out of the water, she is topless, but she is carrying a white t-shirt that she quickly throws on. She then immediately begins running to shore. At the same time, we notice a pontoon cruising towards our dock, yelling at us. At first, I think this must be her boyfriend chasing her, and we are in the middle of some domestic dispute. They quickly get closer, and I realize it's 2 sheriff deputies who flagged a pontoon down to carry them across the lake. As they are jumping onto the deck, we notice the girl had just jumped into our golf cart and was riding away on it. Apparently, she was allegedly involved in a string of burglaries, and the boyfriend she was running away from was the cops. I had unknowingly aided her swim across the lake to escape, and she used our golf cart as a getaway. The cops chased her for a while through the night, tracking her down once more, but she escaped again. We looked all day for the golf cart today with no luck. I notified insurance of the theft around lunch. About an hour ago, someone notified us through social media that it was parked behind a house in a neighborhood over. So we recovered the cart and it seems okay. They put more warrants out for the suspect and are still looking for her. Well, OP, I wouldn't necessarily categorize this story as an F-up, but it's got everything, cop chasing and all, you know, swimming across the lake, all that stuff. And you actually did a good thing. Of course, not aiding a fugitive, if we can call her that, but you helped somebody who was in distress. You had no way of knowing that she was being chased by the police for allegedly taking part in burglaries. And also, it's not like you could see if she was topless or not. And on that point, why would she be swimming topless? That part was just like, what? And I looked through the comment section to see if there was an answer to this, and actually there is one comment from OP that says, "We are all wondering as well. The cops were surprised too. Father-in-law thinks maybe to blend in better in the water? White shirt was giving her away." And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.